What's good, everyone? So we kind of just finished our trading day. Market literally just opened 3 minutes ago. Um, so it was a nice, quick, early day today. We saw a trade pre-market about 20 minutes um, before market open, and we took an entry and we were able to secure our profits just before market opened. So nice, quick day, and especially on a Friday, we love to see that. So I'm just gonna kind of go over the trade and the setup of what I took and as to why I took it. So if I'm gonna go into this 233 range, let's let that load up. Okay, so we can see, what can we see here? So we can see on this candle right here, I'm looking for a retracement into this candle area. We get that retracement. Actually, it starts way before that. It starts with this candle right here, this first up close candle. So we draw that fib zone or the fib level, and pretty much what we look for is first an order block to occur, which we kind of get. I would say this order block is valid, kind of from these down close candles, and we kind of shoot up. So this is kind of like the first order block. Let's put that into a different color. And if this wasn't formed, there's also another order block, which is right here. So I would say this order block is also fine. Let's put it to that same color just to note that it's like, a first order block, or the order area, or the order block in interest, where we can see some potential movement to the downside, or where we want to see a potential break to the downside. So you can see we do get that break to the downside here. We do end up getting into that 50% level, and what we pretty much look for is, swing high, swing low, then a tiny high and a tiny low. So this is something that just happened, like pre-market, like an hour before market opened, and I obviously didn't see it, but we're just gonna go over it because it's something to note. So I'm gonna label that as the second order block, and then the area that we look for is this tiny high and this tiny low. So we kind of just scroll that out. This is the get ready order block. Wait for price to kind of get into that zone. And then what we do next is we just draw a volume profile. We have the point of control right here. Wait for price to touch that point of control. And then we have this set up here, an order block that's formed. And all we pretty much do is just aim for a 1-to-1. And you can see, set a limit order there, or just wait for price to touch the volume, the point of control of this order block, which is right here. So it's pretty much at the order block high, and just aim for that 1-to-1, and boom, boom, bada bang. So that's pretty much the whole premise. So I saw that setup happen in the same 233 retracement area, which is right here. This whole candle right here, we kind of retraced back into there, and we did break this low, this other order block low, and we also did break this original first order block low. So there's multiple order blocks that we kind of just disregarded and broke. So I see that and I go, okay, cool. I'm just gonna remove these. So I say, okay, cool. Let's see what kind of happens here. If we break this low of the 100 level, trade idea is gone. But we do not. We kind of respect it. We have an order block formed with the swing high and the swing low right there. So we kind of just draw out this zone. Let's change it to the second DZ. DZ just stands for demand zone. I just use demand zone and order block kind of interchangeably, kind of. So then we get that tiny high, tiny low inside this order block that disrespected previous order block lows. So once we get that, we see a move into the upside, which is nice. It's what we like to see, but we need price to retrace back at this point of control right here. Point of control is right there, which is this blue line. So once price kind of is able to retrace there, then we kind of want to see price respect this whole yellow box. So the yellow box is pretty much from the tiny high to the swing low. And I just wanted to see an order block formed in that area. And you can see that right here, we do get that order block formed. So what do we do now? We can just kind of wait for price to retrace back into this area and enter. And you can see I did take an entry right here, but I think it was a little too soon because one, we were in another retracement area on the 233 right here. You can see we're in that retracement area. We did break an order block high, which is right here, and we did break another order block high right there. So 2 order blocks were disrespected. And I'm like, all right, I see this order block close. You can see by this yellow box right here. I see our model play out to the downside, but also to the upside. So this is like kind of a conundrum. What do we do? So I still entered long right here, as you can see. And as I entered long, I was like, maybe I shouldn't have, I don't know. And then I checked to see what the point of control is on this order block here. And it's all the way down here. So I tell myself, oof, okay, if we get a close below this candle high, I'm out. So we get that close, and price was just moving a little too quick for me, and I was able to scale out right there, or maybe not scale out, but I did exit out completely right here. And then I was waiting for price to kind of come back here because I was like, you know what, let me check something. And what I wanted to check was to see what this setup, where this point of control was. And the point of control is right where this blue line is. We can see here, it's right there. So I need price to kind of retrace back to here, which we didn't do. If price retraces back into here, I don't think I would take a long entry. I would probably just let this play out. But we do get a touch back into this order block. Let me put it into like a different color. Let's put it into green, because green means go. Green means this is a valid order block. So we do get a retracement back to that point of control. You can see I do take that entry right there. And yes, we do kind of poke below this order block, but that's not my main concern. My main concern is just as long as we're able to respect this order block high to this swing low. So my original ideal stop would obviously, just be below this order block, but I know that price will tend to break below this order block low, but respect this swing low over here. So knowing that, my stop is just below the swing low, and this is also why I did close out my position right here for a little bit more than 10-point stop loss, or a 10-point loss. It was maybe like 13-point loss, which I'm okay with. Because if I entered here at like 105, 107 area, my stop loss would be at like 65. That's 40 points of stop loss. That's a lot. That's a big jump. So I wasn't feeling too comfortable with that. So what we do is we kind of just re-enter our position right at the point of control, and kind of just wait to see what price is doing. I do see that there's buying pressure there, there's selling pressure here. We were kind of starting to hold below it, so I was feeling a little bit nervous, but ultimately you got to trust your model, trust your system. Even if it doesn't look good at that moment, it might play out well down the road. And you can see here we get that nice up close candle above this high, which is perfect. It's exactly what we want to see. And we just are kind of aiming for, I was definitely saying that prices should reach this point of control right here. So I felt pretty confident. I entered at 87. I was waiting for price to kind of go up to 115 area. So we kind of just see what happens. Price does keep going up, and I am able to secure right as we get to that point of control area. One thing to note is the 1-to-1 of this order block is right up here at this cyan level. So just above this yellow box I have drawn out here, which is a part of this down close candle retracement area. So you can see it's the same thing as we said before. I know there's a lot of boxes here, but try to bear with me. Same thing. We have an order block here. We have an order block here. We broke that high. We broke this high. We have the swing high. We have the swing low. We get a tiny high. We get that tiny low here. Wait for price to retrace back to this point of control, which it does. And then wait for an order block to be formed, which there is one right here. So you can, just enter short and boom, price goes down. You enter short here, stop just above the highs. And that's it could have been about a 20-point stop loss or so. And that's all you really need to do. So yeah, and me trusting my system when it wasn't looking too hot, when it wasn't looking too good here, my stop was below here. So, just trusting your system that price would would pump up to this point of control. And it's also important to note that price did kind of just go up to this 50% level, which is where that point of control is, and before it started going down. So I think best practice is to, once you get to 50% level, try to move your stop loss to break even to minimize your risk. And yeah, so that's just the trade I took. It was pre-market. You can see that it was around 712, 716 when I entered, and I was able to take my final secure position at 720, pretty much 726, 727. So that was 3 minutes before market opened about. So it's just nice to see how, you trust your model, you trust your system, price will end up going back up, and then it happens again here, price ends up going down once you are able to find your model and have it play out. And something also interesting is, if this is the order block that we take, this clean order block that we take, if we look at where the point of control is of this order block, oops, that's not it, I drew a box by accident. If we look to see where this point of control is, you can see it's right up here. Price touches it and then just immediately drops to the downside, boom. So that's also, it's good practice to kind of just enter around point of control, but you could definitely get an early entry once price touches into this zone area, or here, for example, if I was using minis or micros, so the MNQ, then I could set half of my entry here and the other half at the point of control, and then my average fill would probably be somewhere around here. So if this was my average fill at 97, that's still almost 20 points of profit. So that's another way of doing it as well. But it's pretty much just the trade we took. Nice quick day, especially on a Friday, and we've had 2 good days back to back after a few days of just not really following our model or system or anything. So it's nice to be back on track. And yeah, just follow your model. Have a good weekend. Peace.